Hey guys, welcome in. It's Hack here again, and coming at you, episode 2. We did it so nice, we get to do it twice. We're coming at you with the NeonSportz League Showcase, and I am the official commissioner of the Loyalty League and the K9 Academy. We're 2 leagues running on the PS5, and been asked to team up with NeonSportz.com, and glad to be with you here tonight. Just a special announcement before we get going. Just yesterday, or just today actually, the trade system update 0.13.0, that's right, Drac, our tech guy, the guy that's the developer, the main man for NeonSportz.com, has released the trade system. And so we just got using that today, and I got to tell you, it is incredible. It fully integrates with your Discord, allows you to approve trades, deny trades. There's a private channel where you can see pending trades. It is amazing. I got to tell you guys that of all the features so far, this trade system, it's going to save us a ton of time, make it really, really awesome, and he's still adding more to it. So level up your league with NeonSportz.com. And without further ado, it's time for us to get to our interview with the Realistic Dynasty Football League. MaddenMark, welcome in. How are you doing tonight, Mark?
I'm doing good, man. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, man, so glad you're here. And so one of the things I like to do is we send out some promotional stuff for the show. We try to get it on Twitter and all over the place. And so I asked the guys that are from the different leagues to send me some pictures. And so MaddenMark sent me some pictures, and I got to tell you, I was like, okay, good. This is a good-looking dude because, as you can tell, Hack's older in years, and I don't bring a lot of good looks to the show. So MaddenMark, thank you for bringing the good looks today.
I do what I can.
All right, so if you're in the chat, boys, I want to tell you how this is going to go. Obviously, if you're from the Rdfl, thank you guys so much for being here. And you want to hang on because at the end of the show, I'm going to give you a chance to ask your Commish questions. We're going to put him on the hot seat, and we're going to find out, exactly what's going on over there. And there's maybe these burning questions you've always wanted to ask your Commish. So without further ado, let's get right to the questions. And Mark, tell me a little bit about what got you into the game of Madden. Why do you play Madden?
I got into Madden really heavily during COVID. I was looking for leagues and couldn't find anything, that I was looking for that fed my realistic, craving that I was looking for in a Madden league, because in a head-to-head, as you're aware, you can throw anywhere up to 40 interceptions a game, and it just was of interest to me. So finding a league that was realistic was my goal for Madden.
And that's hence the name Realistic Dynasty Football League. So that's makes sense. And so
right to it.
You mentioned during COVID, and I think one of the things we've talked about before is that during COVID, that time, and I don't know, I'm not saying it's over, it's not over. I'm not getting into the politics of it, but the truth is that a lot of us that like the game, we found a lot of solace in, like, hey, we could get in these communities and we could hang out together during COVID. So tell me, why did you start the RDFL?
A big reason we were so successful was, I think, because we launched during COVID. A lot of people had a good amount of time on their hands, and they weren't able to go out in their communities. They weren't able to go out in restaurants, hang out with their friends at normal venues. So a lot of people spent time inside, and people built some really solid relationships just gaming. And that was some real solace for people. Gaming was a real rock for a lot of people during COVID. So we were able to launch, and I think some really great relationships were built. And that was kind of like the foundation of creating the great league long term.
Yeah, relationships are so important in life, but also a lot of people, they don't have a clue really what goes on inside these Madden leagues and how tight the communities can be. And the funny thing is the connected franchise community, it's really, really big, but it's also really, really small. The really, really good leagues are hard to find. So tell me the story about you trying to find a good league.
Yeah, I didn't know about Discord when I was searching for a league originally. I was on Google, and I found the Discord. I'm sure you're familiar with the Discord. and I found a couple servers on there, and I didn't know about verified leagues or anything. These servers were just, it was so much information at once. So I was just clicking on random leagues, and just these rule books and the lingo and the way that people were talking to each other in these servers was just wild. Just not a welcoming environment in some of them. So finding a good server was just, it was tough. And then the longer I spent in the community, the more I was able to kind of weave my way and kind of navigate and find my way into meeting better quality, gamers. And that was really through servers like the CFM, MaddenMark, NeonSportz, coming around now is going to be another huge one. So finding those servers was huge. And then I had already started the Rdfl, and then from there we had a couple of good quality guys, and we just built out from there.
Yeah, that's awesome. And so you said, all right, hey, if I can't find a good community, I'll go build one. And I gotta give you props for that, because we built a community too over the years, and it takes time. It takes time to build a good community. It takes time to find the guys that want to be a part of this and play. And to your point, there's a lot of toxicity out there in Madden, especially if you're playing on head-to-head, MUT, those kind of things. I mean, it's a toxic world out there. And so I think one of the things that drew me into CFM is like, hey, I love to play this game. I love to play against other people. I don't like all the bullshit. I don't like to deal with that. And so much props to you. So RDFL, you guys are doing well. You got any openings right now? You got any? What's going on with where you guys are at?
Yeah, we are holding off for the update. Just crossing our fingers, hoping for October is the actual launch. I have confidence in EA. I know some people probably don't, but I have confidence that they'll deliver they'll deliver the product at least.
Well, let me just say, you're a brave man if you've got confidence in EA. I'm going to tell you that. I mean, you're a really brave man. But the thing is you guys were kind of deep in, so you decided to wait for the scouting update to kick off. Okay.
Yeah, we're going to hold off, and we were taking applications all throughout that time. So we currently have about 35 applications, and then continue more coming in daily. And we are going to do a randomized draft order. So we're going to host a live event on Twitch or YouTube, and we're going to plug in all of our users, and a randomized draft order is going to spit out live and give us a nice live list of a draft order.
And that's awesome. That is awesome. So one of the things you mentioned, I want to go back to and I want to hit on, is you said an application. So like a job application? I mean, what are we talking about here? I mean, how hard is it to do this application thing, and why do you guys do that?
Yeah, no, it's a really simple application, just some, general information, so we can get to know you. We really like to game with people that we know and enjoy gaming with. Not everybody doesn't have a huge amount of free time, so the time that they do dedicate to gaming, we want to make sure that everybody's in a community that they enjoy. So by creating the application, we really just created an environment where we're not looking to waste our time, and we're not looking to waste the users' time that's looking to join the league. A lot of what you see around leagues is people join, they play a half of a game or a full game, and they dashboard or they roster dump and leave just because they weren't fully aware of the rules and they got mad at being accused or called out on a rule break, and they do these crazy, silly things. So by creating the application, it really weeds out those people, because there are one or two questions in there that involve our rule book. So if you haven't gone through and read our rule book, we won't be able to complete the application, and we know you're not serious about wanting to join. So you kind of hide some rule book questions in there. So like, okay, how many times you had somebody join your server, guys, and you're like, hey, have you read all the rules and settings? And less than 30 seconds later, yep, done. Ready to go, right? Yeah, so you kind of hide some trick questions in there and try to trip them up a little bit so they don't actually. I think it's good though. I mean, I think one of the things as a commissioner, I can speak for myself, is that you spend so much time on these leagues building out the rules, trying to make sure that you make everyone understand them, but then you're also trying to have that balance between too many rules, not enough. So hell, if we're going to spend that much time on them, they should at least read them, right? Yeah, absolutely, and that was really the whole concept behind it. Just give us the dedication and the time to make sure that you're on board with what we're doing here in the community. And if you're on board with that, then we're fully here to support you, and you have a spot here.
That's awesome. Well, so I'm seeing in the chat we had some guys join. Thank you guys so much for being here. And it's one of the things I picked up. I asked to kind of hang out in your Discord and lurk a little bit and see what you guys are doing so I could prep for the show. And you guys have some pretty cool folks in your media section that do some commentating. And so do you want to talk about those guys and what it's like to be a part of that broadcast? And, how'd you guys put all that together?
Yeah, so we were able to put together a media team last year with the help of Julian from Inferno.
Props to Julian.
He was able
I've seen Julian around the Discords. Welcome in, Julian, too. Thanks for being here.
Yeah, he's really awesome, and he was able to kind of give us our first original taste of commentary and media. And we were able to put that together towards the end of the 21 file. We didn't do it on the last season, just because the last season just kind of started to trickle down a little bit. People were getting mad and burnt. People were just ready for the 21 or the 22 file. So we didn't do commentary on the last season, so it's something we're like really pumped to get back into for the launch of the 22 file. But we've just worked with some really great guys, and like I said, just because I've been able to kind of weave my way into the community, made some really cool connections with members like yourself.
Yeah.
So people are in the community. When you're serious about putting together a fun league for the community, everybody's willing to help out, and that's the awesome part about it. Now
there's somebody that's upset you haven't mentioned them, and that's ROFL_primetime. Do we know who that is?
ROFL primetime. Oh, RDFL primetime. So that's our primetime. He created our Twitch for us.
Ah, okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, you better mention him. So, he's already mad. So you're gonna have to make amends on that one after the show. But RDFL primetime. Props to you for creating your Twitch, and definitely want to tune in to that and catch some of these broadcasts. What do you think like broadcasting these games? I mean, what does it bring to a league?
It just brings complete immersion. I wish I can do it myself. As I told you, I'm just not a tech guy with all this types of programs and things. So I kind of went outside the box, and I talked to 40 Low about just kind of coming in and taking reins of our media team, kind of training up one or two of the media guys from the RDFL, and kind of showing them and kind of giving them a layout and how to properly run a great commentary, because it is something that we're new to. So having any kind of help in those regards is going to be great from him.
Yeah, I noticed you had a guy over there by the name of Snipes in there too, and anybody that's been around for a little bit, they've seen some of Snipes' work. That man is fire. He can broadcast a game better than the guys that do it for a living. Not to say he doesn't, but I'm telling you, Snipes is the man. So props to you guys, and also props to you for saying, you know what, I don't have this skill set. This is not something I'm good at, but I'm going to put people around me that do. That's what good leaders do. So props to you for doing that, and props to the guys that help you put all that together. That's really, really awesome. And one of the things you talk about is a community and getting to know other people and all that. And one of the things I want you to kind of share is in the NeonSportz community, in their Discord, there's a donor section, and you guys are a part of that. And so you've kind of seen what's going on there. Do you want to talk a little bit about what you've seen happen in that donor section of the NeonSportz?
Yeah, the donor section in the NeonSportz is something that everybody should get into. I mean, even if you can, whatever you can afford is definitely appreciated. And, if you have any ideas for, the service, you just put them in the donor section, and Dracoid is right on top of it. He's added so much things since the inception of this thing already. I remember when we first took a look at it, I mean, we're already on update, what was it, 14?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's just plugging away, and those are all, the majority of them are coming from the donor section, and just ideas and tips and just a constant brainstorm in there.
I think why Drac is onto something with this NeonSportz.com is that, and I know this is going to sound like a commercial, but this is, people that know me know I'm real, but is that with EA and with Madden, we try to provide feedback. We try to talk about, hey, do this, do that. If you guys would just put this together, and a lot of times it either falls on deaf ears or it doesn't happen, or they put a lot of attention into the MUT side, and this year was supposed to be the franchise year, and so some of us have been really super excited about this year. But what happens in this Neon Sports world is kind of like, hey, in real time, the guy that's running the show is hearing your feedback, and not only is he hearing your feedback, he's doing these upgrades in like real time. Like you ask for something, and a day or two later, it's like, oh, I just pushed that out on the update, and it's live. It is one of the coolest experiences I've ever been a part of, seeing something from the ground up. And so thanks for sharing that story, Mark.
Yeah, no, I'm so excited. We a couple of us at the Rdfl, we have a little side league of 8 members, and we just are using all of the NeonSportz new features and just exploring, seeing how we can integrate them into the Rdfl into the future, and just anything that they're doing, we're just all over it. It's really cool stuff.
Yeah, so back to the Rdfl. Thanks for helping talk about NeonSportz a little bit there, but back to the RDFL, you guys have not yet started, so you've got guys loaded up. They don't have a team yet.
Yep.
So how's that going to roll? How do you decide who gets the Chiefs and who gets the Texans? Both. Obviously everybody wants the Texans, of course, but not everybody can be.
Everybody's dying for
yeah, and I'm going to assume from the jersey that probably somebody's already latched on the Cowboys. I'm just going to guess.
Yeah, we haven't picked teams yet, so we are going to, like I said, plug in all of our users into the draft randomizer, and when it spits out that list, whatever number you are, when it comes to your number, you can then pick your team. So we're not going to go by the team and then a randomized member. We're going to let each member select their team as they come, and that's going to come through a randomized draft order.
What do you think the most popular team is going to be off the board?
I think Ravens could go right away. I think playing with Lamar in this new file, he is a hack in himself, and it's kind of crazy.
So you're bringing up a very sensitive subject, and if there's any of my loyalty league guys in the chat, they may go off, but we have had a hard time containing Lamar. We've been playing a practice season since the league, the game launched, and so we just started our official league actually tonight. And so we had to have like all these. We have a rules and gameplay committee in Loyalty League, and so we have these inter-room discussions about what do we do about this, what do we do about. And so everybody's like, can't stop Lamar. You can't do this. You can't do that. And so we've had some inner discussions about what we're going to do with it. And I don't even think my league knows this yet. But what we decided with Lamar is that we're going to remove the X factor of Truz. So he won't be allowed to carry the Truz. Which Truz, if you don't know, it basically means that if you carry for positive yards for a certain number of times, then you can't fumble. And so we're also removing the juke move from Lamar too. So he's got to pick a different one. So create more of a passing archetype with Lamar. Now that doesn't mean he's not going to be able to use escape artist and get out and all that. And we have rules about that and stuff. But that's what we decided to do with Lamar. But I think you're right. I think everybody wants Lamar because in Madden there's no equal. He's hard to stop.
It's really crazy. We also have a few abilities banned, pick artist being one of them, tip drill being another one. And I think we should look into Truz for Lamar. I do like that idea a lot.
Yeah. So you banned some. You said you banned which two?
Pick artist, lurker, tip drill, anything with interceptions, because interceptions, even with, we have our interception slider at 5.
Okay. Time out. I want Loyalty League, if you're here, I want you to hear this. Your interception slider's at what?
Sorry, we turned it up to 6 because so many people were complaining.
Even though the numbers were so
perfect. Yeah, they were. The numbers were spot on with 5, but too many people felt that they were dropping crucial gameplay, interceptions that would completely change the game that were wide open.
Time out, Mark. You're saying people are complaining? Never. Come on, man. It's Madden. People don't complain, baby. They're not complaining about drop picks, are they? Are they complaining about drop picks?
No, not in this community. But yeah, so we did bump them up to 6, and I like the realism stats at the end of the season. When I see a guy with 13 or 14 interceptions at the end of the season, it's just a little bit too much for me, especially if they're doing that consistently season after season after season. It's not realistic.
How do you decide those things, Mark? Like with sliders, and obviously, is it a team of folks that get together? Is there a certain guy out in the community that does sliders you want to give a props to that you're following, or you guys do all this internal?
We actually had one of our league members who runs his own league over in the UK. They had their own set of sliders, yeah. And he was, we were running into all sorts of problems, and he generously donated his slider set to us that was just stat driven. They had run so many seasons with just stat proven sliders, and we just kind of went on a whim because we were pretty new to Inception at the time when we were taking in these sliders. So we were like, let's give it a shot. And we adjusted them, here and there over the seasons as players develop. But they're pretty spot on. And the interceptions being a huge one, that had to go way down.
Yeah, interceptions are they. And I think the problem is that in the sliders, and this is what my guys are complaining about, is in the sliders it doesn't tell you like, hey, if he throws it right at me and I'm standing right there, I shouldn't drop it, versus kind of a diving interception or something, right? The slider doesn't really help you with that. But I think the thing is you're trying to get, one of the things that I think you guys do and we're trying to do is you're trying to create an experience that the entire community can enjoy. And obviously, that slider is not just set for you; it's set for the other guy too, my friend. And so it goes both ways. But yeah, no, I think the thing with sliders and that is that there are guys that spend way. You talk about not having the technical skills. I don't have the skills that these guys spend studying these sliders.
Yeah.
And props to the guys on Operation Sports. If you're looking for a good place to find sliders and you're tuning in, you can go to operationsports.com and you can go to the sliders section. There's guys that test all different kinds of stuff. We just picked up, and props to him too, RFF sliders from AWFL. And one of my guys says, "Oh, it's funny. It's almost named Awful." I said, "I'm glad you picked up on that."
Yeah, I love Operation Sports forum, and right now I'm currently testing around and kind of tweaking the Mat 10 slider set. Yeah. It seems to play pretty well. I did like the pass reaction time and the defense, the pass defense on all the way lower down to 5. It seems kind of crazy seeing how bad the zone coverages are in the 22.
Yeah, they're really bad.
But his explanation of it seemed to kind of hit home for me. I'm not sure if you were aware of it or not.
Yeah.
By lowering the sliders, lowers the field of view of the defender, so he tends to stay.
I saw that. Yeah, no, we tried different sliders, and we tried Mat 10s and we tried Sirius Max from YouTube. Sirius Mac had some on YouTube. I don't know if he went to Operation Sports, and we ended up liking Sirius Max more. Then I kept waiting for RFFs, and so RFFs came out today or just a few days ago, and I said, all right, well, we're going to roll with these. And of course everybody's like, oh, we've been testing these other, now going with these. Well, I guess it's good to be the commish sometimes, because it's what we're doing. But also it's a work in progress, right? So if you don't see something you like, then you can kind of change it later and just make sure everybody in the league knows.
Sliders are real tough too, because they really depend from team to team to team.
Yeah.
So if you have a bad quarterback and your QB accuracy is not right, an average quarterback can all of a sudden become terrible. And there's so many different variables with the sliders, and it's just trial and error. 100%. So it is kind of good that we did have this little break, this little pause. Yeah. To kind of launch the file to test all these things out.
Right, I agree. And so, hey, we're getting ready to get into the questions. So if you're in the chat and you've got some questions for MaddenMark, we're about to do those. Before we do that, though, Mark, you were mentioning that kind of the future is you guys want to expand out into the social media platforms and start to get some more things out there with that. What's the future of Rdfl like right now in terms of that?
So we are trying to get onto, just more commentary, getting onto a YouTube and just having our league, all the channels and just following storylines of each team, So we're trying to get as many people to stream on YouTube as possible, so the videos are stored long term. And then we're able to then create a YouTube channel and then create individual folders in that channel for each team.
Oh, that's really
So
cool.
each person can kind of log on and see their own storyline. So the more people that use YouTube will have access to more clips here.
Very, very cool. Very cool. Well, guys, it's time now. Let's question the commish, and Mark is in the hot seat. Let's see if we've got any questions from the chat. Anybody from Rdfl want to ask Mr. Mark a question here? I'm looking through. Let me see if we've got any questions from the chat. Nothing yet, but oh, here we go. Favorite administrator. Who's your favorite administrator over in the RDFL? They're trying to put you on the spot right here, Mark. Who's your favorite?
I really couldn't have done this league without Dan. Dan is the other owner. Yeah, Dan Hangry Waffle. You may have seen him on the server.
Hangry Waffle. Yeah, I love that name. It makes me hungry. I love waffles, so it makes me hungry like every time I see it. Hangry Waffle. That's what a great name.
Yeah, I wouldn't have been able to kind of keep this going without him. Me and him, we just bounce ideas off of each other all day, and it's just we got a great dynamic.
Well, so another question from the chat, and obviously this is coming from Drac. So hey, he's plugging away. He says, "Hey, what do you look forward to most of the features on NeonSportz?"
I'm really looking forward to the bot features. I had just posted that earlier today, actually, in the donor section, because he had posted, any new features that I should be working on. He was going proactive, just plugging away. And I had replied, just some more bot features that post in individual channels with what they do. So we can kind of separate them out. And, true to Dracoid, he within probably 2 minutes responded saying, "Absolutely, that's a great idea, on it."
Yeah, he's all about responses. Hey, the Ski from over at the Loyalty League says, "Hey, do you see any type of?" And I saw this earlier in the chat. Somebody in my league threw out the idea of a little tournament, maybe top 5 from RDFL playing the top 5 in Loyalty. What do you think of a little collab? What are you guys up for that?
Yeah, that would be awesome. I actually posted something in the CFM verified members chat. I would love to create even a potential little side league of verified owners. Maybe a 4-on-4, 8-on-8, whatever the case may be, or a small tournament. That'd be awesome.
Yeah. I had an idea that we're kind of stewing on a little bit, is that after the scouting update, we may pull together a group from the different leagues, kind of your top guys that would want to do like an owners league where we advance daily but don't play games. We just manage the team, and that way you can kind of learn long term what the training does, what the scouting does, and you could kind of get ahead of the game, and we would just maybe play the playoff games, and then just kind of roll through it that way. So that may be something we look at getting going with some of the different communities, because I don't know that there's that many guys that just want to, to manage the game, but just another way to do it.
Yeah, no, that would be great. It's just a learning curve for all the new features that they're plugging in with the scouting. There's going to be so many, we don't know how this is going to affect the scouting 4 or 5 seasons deep. Right. And to get there really quickly after it's all launched, that kind of league would be awesome to kind of get that going.
So Spam, who's up in the chat, says, "All right, who's your favorite user from the RDFL? The answer should be the Huskies."
I don't have a favorite user. They're all my guys. Every single one of them that has played in this league.
Mark. Come on, man. You gotta have. Well, okay, let's go the other way, Mark. You gotta have one guy that just annoys the shit out of you, that you really just hope he steps over the line. Because if he does, you're gonna boot him. You're gonna give him the hammer.
We had some guys like that in the middle of the 21 file that we tolerated because they were, active. But they've kind of weeded them all. They've kind of weeded themselves out over, the course of the file. we really ended off with the guys that we wanted to carry over into the 22
All right,
file.
so you've got all good guys, no bad eggs. That's
Yeah. There's always guys that talk shit.
There you go. You got those, right? Yeah, it's Madden. You're gonna have it. Hey, Zaboom Gaming says, hey, he assumes the league's gonna have users play as owners so they can manage the entire staff. With everyone as an owner of a team, how open is the Rdfl to relocation and/or new stadiums and appropriate teams?
Yeah, there are certain teams that I could see relocating. Every team definitely isn't eligible, I wouldn't say, to relocate. The Dallas Cowboys aren't looking to relocate. But there are certain teams out there that I could see relocating, two of the New York teams, for instance, maybe seeing the Giants or the Jets go into a different stadium, seeing as how they share a stadium. Washington football team, with all the drama around their name, could be looking for a rebrand.
Hey, let's bring Buffalo to Austin, Texas. I saw that news story not long ago. Let's move Buffalo to Austin. It's too cold up there anyway.
Yeah, it's cold.
So I'm gonna team up some Cowboys questions for you. There was a couple in there. Number one is, what made you a Cowboys fan, and number two, what jersey are you rocking today?
I got the Aikman jersey on, the throwback.
All right, nice. The Troy.
Yeah. And my father and my aunt were Cowboys fans growing up. And, I was growing up during the 90s. I was born in 89, so growing up in the 90s, Dallas was awesome, and I was a fan, and, couldn't abandon them during their trial years.
Yeah, well, good on you for sticking through. The 90s, everybody was a Cowboys fan. Good for you for sticking it through. More good on you for putting up with Jerry Jones, because I think that's the one guy that I can't stand the most. But the truth is like, he does want his team to win over everything. But my God, he could really piss you off if you're not a Cowboys fan.
Yeah, if it wasn't for his bank account and, his drive to win, he really will win. He wants to win. He's one of the owners out there that's just so vocal about wanting to win. So you got to respect that. But, he's a little much for an owner sometimes.
Yeah, he is. And talking about much, well, Julian is saying that he wants to know who's your best Super Bowl champ. I feel like he's setting that question up for something.
Yeah, Julian kind of came in and threw in the, I don't know if it would be called an upset, but they were, it was a battle of the crap talkers for sure, and him and Reggie. It was they just love to go at it in the chat, and it was always something funny to see. But Julian is one of the better players in the league, and he came in and dominated while he was there.
Well, props then to him.
I'd give it.
Hey guys, we're going to wrap it up here. Mark, I just wanted to throw it out there. If folks wanted to get on that wait list, or they wanted to be a part of what you guys are doing, how could they find you, Realistic Dynasty Football? What would be the best way?
Probably just our Discord, and then if you're looking to find it, we're on the Discord. You can search Madden 22 on the Discord. We're always bumping on there.
Okay.
And then throughout all the verification, the verified recruit posts, I'm always posting on there. It's not that we're always looking for new members, but we're always recruiting for the community and just building the community to have people following along with what we're doing. Yeah,
I think it's a good place. The CFM Network, I'm going to plug those guys. They started a CFM Good Morning Madden show, and it was a funny story. They started this show for the sole reason that that Good Morning Madden, the official GMM show, has outlawed the initial CFM from their chat, so you can't use that in chat. So they said, what, fine, we'll create our own show. So they're getting going. You can find those guys. I think Bradley is running that. So if you want to know more, come on over to CFM Network. You can find stuff out. Find the NeonSportz Discord. You can find that out. And this video will be saved up to YouTube. And Mark, I'll include your Discord invite then there too. So guys that find it, they can find you and they can come fill out one of those applications before you let them in.
Awesome. Yeah, that would be great. Just one last thing before we head off here. I just want to give a shout out to all my guys in the league. I just want to thank you guys for everything you're putting into the league. and just creating an awesome server and an awesome community for us. And thank you for what you're doing here with the show and NeonSportz and partnering up with them. Looking forward to working with you guys in the future too.
Yeah, well, thank you, Mark, for doing the show. Thank you for being here. Props to all your guys that came in. Props to the guys that followed me. I didn't keep up with it all because I was doing the interview, but thank you guys for all the follows. We are going to try to do at least one of these shows a week. I think I've already got next week lined up, but I'm waiting to confirm. But thank you guys for being a part of this. All of this is about one thing, and that is about the fact that we're trying to grow the CFM community so we have a better voice and we can make things happen and change things, for the better. And so thank you again, Mark, for being here. So if you want to know how to find NeonSportz, this is where you can find them with all of their socials, everything from Twitter to Discord to the Insta. NeonSportz.com, level up your league. And then just a plug for this channel, at Madden Loyalty, this coming Friday, we've got the Hack and Whack Show. It's pure comedy. You never know what you're going to hear on the Hack and Whack Show, but guys, go get signed up at NeonSportz.com. They are doing some amazing things. Thank you guys for being here, and appreciate you guys asking the questions and being a part of this show tonight. See you guys.